In many educational environments, there are some who become very intelligent, or at least that's the way the world sometimes talks about them, or the institutions might talk about them being, these are the most intelligent students, they're the best performing students. And you can develop this whole sort of profile of someone who is exceptionally intelligent. And that sometimes can create an elitism within certain institutions or certain educational experiences. I've experienced this myself, seeing certain students who thought they were better than everybody else because they were the first or the whatever it was in the class. At school, at university, I saw this even in seminary. And one of the interesting things about St. Thomas Aquinas is he says that intelligence is not just for intelligence sake. And this gospel today is reminding us that if you're intelligent, if you have knowledge, that we're called to be humble about it, that we're called to be a servant, that knowledge is not just for ourselves, for our own ego to say, hey, I know more than everybody else, so everyone should sort of worship me or bow down to me. That's not what intelligence. That's actually some misunderstanding. And sometimes, unfortunately, sometimes members of the religious order that Thomas Aquinas was part of, sometimes they can fall into that trap. They become so obsessed with some ideas of intelligence that they forget that they're called to be humble servants to bring people to faith. And the beauty of Thomas Aquinas is that his influence has impacted everything in the life of the church, but a lot of it's not about him. It's about Jesus Christ. It's about a love for the Eucharist. The language that we use as Catholics is the language of St. Thomas Aquinas. But he used this language because he already had faith. We talk about the Eucharist and during the Mass, the moment of transubstantiation, where bread and wine are changed. Their substance is changed to become the body and the blood, the soul and the divinity of Jesus Christ. This is the language of Thomas Aquinas. The moment that we come to Mass, that there is a change that happens and that we're able to participate in that change. That as opposed to the Eucharist being absorbed into us, that we become absorbed into Jesus Christ. That we receive the living God into our lives. This is the language of Thomas Aquinas. Thomas Aquinas wrote many of the prayers that we have for Corpus Christi. He wrote many of the famous hymns that we use sometimes for Eucharistic faith. His intelligence, though, was not for himself. It was for Jesus Christ. It was a beautiful story of Thomas Aquinas when he was asked to write the prayers for the Mass for Corpus Christi. And he didn't know what to write. And so he went to the tabernacle and he put his head on the tabernacle. And he asked God to give him the right knowledge and the right words to explain what this great mystery is. Not for himself, not to show how intelligent he was, but to treasure this great gift of our faith, this great gift of the Eucharist. All of us have some sort of intelligence. Sometimes we might think, we can really sort of become really proud about the intelligence that we have. It's not about ourselves, though. And it's a great thing to pass on to our children, to grandchildren, to great-grandchildren. That intelligence, that knowledge isn't to make us more arrogant, as it sometimes can happen in many contexts. We're called to be servants. And this is what our readings today are reminding us. True wisdom is a knowledge not of self, but of God. And it's a knowledge that we know that we don't have all the knowledge. This is what this first reading is talking about. But we have a love for this knowledge. Not because we love self, we love our own ego, but we want to love and know God more. And the more that we can know God and the God's mystery, the more we can love and then share that love as servants. Anyone who exalts himself will be humbled. Anyone who humbles himself will be exalted. Let us love knowledge. Let us love developing a deeper knowledge of the mysteries of our faith. Let us turn to St. Thomas Aquinas to help us grow in the deeper knowledge, not just for ourselves, but so that we can grow in a love for Jesus Christ and to bring that love to others as humble servants. St. Thomas Aquinas, pray for us.